Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Completionist. And this is my wife, Chibi Neko.
Hello.
So anyway guys, my wife is only up here in Alberta for a couple of more days, and I've already had the video up for almost 2 weeks, so I don't think I'm going to get any more questions. So we're just going to take this time while my wife is still up here, and we're going to answer all the questions that everybody had. So we'll try to get through a lot of them quickly. You know, we don't want to ramble on too long and bore you guys. So anyway, let's get started. So the first question comes from a longtime subscriber by the name of Quota Hunter, and his question is there are JRPGs on the PS4. So when are you going to pick up a PS4? Are you going to wait till it becomes a last gen console? Well, the biggest thing you got to understand is, we don't necessarily like where gaming is kind of going these days, so we're being incredibly picky about when we're going to jump into this present day generation, because I have no interest in playing a lot of the newer games unless it's something from a beloved license that we have a lot of fondness about.
Yeah, I barely played anything to PS3, which is funny because we have two PS3s in our house. But as soon as it was announced that Final Fantasy VII was going to be remade, I said, God damn it, I'm going to get that game in a PS4 just to play it. And the completionist told me, well, we may as well get Star Ocean 5. I'm like, sure, why not? So I guess we'll end up playing those. I mean, I love Final Fantasy VII. I do agree it's overrated, but I'm a diehard fan, so yeah, I guess we'll play it eventually. But personally, I don't want to get the PS4 until those are released. I'm not rushing out to get one now.
Because, and that's just the thing, Star Ocean 4, the English version, comes out this summer. So we'll probably buy the game first, but we're in no rush to buy the system until the system hits a price drop. And I may jump into more JRPGs on that system, but I would only feel comfortable doing so unless I finish playing all the games for like one of my older systems. I'm in no rush at all to keep up with present day gaming generations. Alright, so another long-time subscriber and a really good friend of mine, Hybrid Angel Zero, and he asked, are there any modern anime either of you are into? Also, what retro anime or cartoons would you guys recommend?
Ooh, well, I think the most current one we're into now is Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, we're watching Dragon Ball Super right now. Nowhere near as good as the original Dragon Ball series, because it's really, the plot line is all about food, finding the most delicious food
Although
in the world.
Vegeta is pretty entertaining in this, and Vegeta's always been my favorite character. But for old time's sake, a few months ago we did rewatch Gundam Wing, the uncut dub, which is pretty cool.
With regards to like modern anime, a couple of years ago my wife got into Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, much better than the original series, infinitely, and it's based on the actual manga, and it's a lot better. With regards to retro anime and cartoons, I can recommend two of my favorite retro animes of all time, which is Dominion Tank Police and Macross Plus. Those animes are absolutely timeless and beautiful, and they still stand up today. With regards to cartoons, I'm a huge 80s to 90s cartoon collector. So, the ones I can recommend are my favorites, like Mask from the 1980s and Bossmaster as well.
My favorite would be Bucky O'Hare. I done a review, a retrospective of that series like that. I just always had a soft spot for Bucky O'Hare. My Little Pony, I know it's cliche, and yes, I do enjoy the new one, but again, soft spot for the old one. And there's one I would love to get. I have no idea it's on DVD. If anyone remembers Moon Dreamers?
No, I don't think that's
There used to be a time slot on My Little Pony and Friends, so they would show My Little Pony, then sometimes they would show Potato Head and Moon Dreamers, etc. But no, I wouldn't mind finding that one if it existed.
And Shonen Mowgli.
Shonen Mowgli is it's known as the Jungle Book, but that's definitely my favorite of all time. If you have any children, that should be the only show you show them, because it's just life. Life.
You can find it on YouTube. Just type in the Jungle Book 1980s anime. You can find all the episodes there. They're all dubbed, and it's a really awesome show, despite it being a little on the older side, but it is worth watching.
And the original Astro Boy.
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh yeah, original 1980s Astro Boy, the color version, but you won't be able to find the old Canadian dub anymore. I think that's lost, but But Manga Entertainment did a brand new English dub of it, which is still good because they actually did the episodes uncut, so stuff isn't cut out of the episodes.
And the cool thing is, during the time, I had no idea that they were anime or what it was.
Yeah.
So that shows how good they are. They're just good as plain TV shows. Doesn't matter how they're drawn.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. So the next question is from Linku of Courage 1, another longtime subscriber. And he asks, what are some of your favorite games?
My favorite games?
Yeah.
Oh man, well obviously the most favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy Tactics for the PS1. But if I were to go back further, Final Fantasy 3 or 6 for the SNES, Chrono Trigger, Star Ocean 2 for the PS1, I had a soft spot for. Geez, those are the big ones on top of my head. Genzo Suikoden, all of them. I mean, number 4 was questionable, but I just adore those so much, and it's a shame they're not bringing it. There is one for the PSP, I think, either way, they won't bring it out here, and I wish Konami would just, bite the nail and just keep going with it. I mean, there's so much more you can do, especially with the True Runes. They just haven't explored it.
Parasite Eve, Star Fox 64.
Star Fox 64 is the one I don't mind bragging about. Like, I kicked so much ass on that. They even had a demo display of it at Walmart, and these kids out there being smart. Hey, you want to challenge us? And I kicked their ass. I even beat Nintendo Power's record on that one time. So proud of it.
Okay. And the second question is, how did we meet? So I'll let you tell the story on that one.
Oh my goodness, we met at a downtown comic store playing the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. I'm not kidding.
And I wasn't very good at it, and she was really good at it. There was a period of time in which she was one of the top duelists in the country, and the top female duelist in the country. She used to strike fear into little kids. Her nickname down at the comic book store used to be the Dragon Lady, and
if no one knew what my name was the Dragon Lady, and whenever they would draw the names, say so and so you're against Crystal, and they're like the Dragon Lady. Oh no, they would. But that was really fun. But yeah, I was number 2 in Canada overall. But women-wise, I was number 1 female duelist in Canada. I probably suck now because I haven't updated my deck in years and years, but I still like taking it out once in a while just to play a casual game.
Yeah. With regards to us being together, we actually got to know each other for like almost a year before we even dated. So we were really good friends first. We used to hang out with the same crowd, and we had a lot of similar interests. But for the longest time, she was waiting for me to ask her out, and unfortunately, I am shy when it comes to women, and I can't pick up on clues, to save my life. So when she went to my best friend, and said, I'm kind of giving him all these clues that, I'm interested, but it doesn't seem like he's catching on. And he says, listen, he's really shy with girls. You're going to have to ask him out.
But you know what? You told me that right up the bat, because we were just hanging out, and I had to drive you home. And I don't know how the topic came up, but you told me, but I'm shy. Like, I'd never be able to ask a girl that. And I'm in my head, oh, God damn it. Guess what? I'm going to do it. So, yeah, he was away somewhere. We're talking on the phone, and I asked him out. I asked him, hey, I'm interested. You just want to go out? He said, sure. I just want to take things very slow. I'm like, sure, I respect that. And how long did it take for you to move in with me? Like
4 months.
There you go. So, we've seen how that ended up.
So, it's just, we kind of knew right off the bat, we were kind of made for each other. Alright, so the next question is from really good friend, part of my Jib Squad crowd, McFly3077. And his first question is, what are the consoles you two started with? Easy.
The Atari 2600.
Atari 2600. Got it as a Christmas present. Remember my first 2 games for it, Pac-Man and Space Invaders. That was my first ever console.
Pac-Man for me, for sure. I don't quite remember how we got our Atari 2600, but that was definitely our system. But obviously Nintendo was second, and I remember renting Mario Brothers 3 was a weekend tradition.
Gotcha. Second question that McFly has is, when did you really start collecting? What was the inspiration behind it? Well, let's clear the air first. I'm technically the video game collector. When my wife and I first got together, she just had a casual amount of titles that she actually loved, but when we got together, then I kind of took up the mantle for like to actually be a video game collector. Now, the reason why I decided to do it is that, it wasn't necessarily, for value. It's not as if, we're looking at our video game collection as a way of, that's going to pay for our retirement. It's just, you know the story that I never had a chance to play a lot of video games growing up as a teenager, as a young adult. Funds were tight. I missed out on so many great generations of gaming. I missed out on so many games because there were more important priorities such as college and work and stuff along those lines, and I couldn't really afford the video games as they came out. So my main inspiration behind video game collecting, and the reason why I'm focused on playing more retro titles, is that I simply want to have an opportunity to have the teenage life or young adult life I wish I could have had but I couldn't afford. So that's why I'm kind of focused on playing on all these older games and like jumping into the new present day generations, and that's the inspiration behind it. And for me, one thing you got to understand with me is that my video game collection is not going to be a permanent part of my life, because when I finish playing all the games for a specific system, there's no reason for me to hold on to them anymore. So I'd rather sell them and pass them on to someone else that will appreciate them, that will play them as much as I do.
What a few keepsakes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We'll keep a few favorites, because when I sold off my SNES collection, because the prices were getting way too ridiculous, we did keep some sentimental favorites, some timeless classics. Like we kept Star Fox, we kept Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy VI, and Chrono Trigger, and Secret of Mana. And just like a few close ones that we have a lot of nostalgic memories for, and I'm sure that'll be the same for like every system. There will be a few favorites we will hold on to, but eventually, as I slowly get through all of the collections, they will eventually be sold, except for a few sentimental favorites.
yeah, I was never really a game collector. I mean, the funny thing is, as a kid, it wasn't difficult to play a wide variety of games. I mean, surprisingly, our convenience store had lots of selection, and my mom was pretty liberal. Like if we had $3 on us, sure, we could rent a game for a weekend. My cousin would have a bunch of games, and it wasn't just RPGs, there were side-scrollers, fighting games. Man, we would go nuts playing Street Fighter 2. The stories can tell with that is endless. But when we started going out, when he's seen the game, especially the PS1 games that I had, he was blown away, because right now they're actually worth a lot. But the way I looked at it, I mean, these were games I had to research to death and make sure they were worth playing, because while I was making money, it was very limited. So basically my attitude was, okay, I gotta buy a game as if it's gonna be the only game I'm gonna play. So it has to be good, I can't waste my money. And it's just by coincidence that the Suikoden games, like Vagrant Story, all the ones I have, they're just worth a lot of money now. So coincidence.
Okay, next question. Long-time subscriber, long-time guy on YouTube. He needs to make more videos, and that's the Comeback Kid. Have either of you had a game or anime that you thought you didn't like, but the other one got you into?
Ha ha ha. Yeah, he's not Derek doesn't really want to watch anime that's brand new. Like he likes to let it simmer for a bit before he watches it. However, there was one I got him to watch. It was Death Note. I'm kind of the same boat. I read descriptions of anime, and right now most of them are the same thing. I've been watching them since the 80s, and there's very little I haven't seen before now in terms of plot and story and character. However, when I read the description of Death Note, I'm like, it intrigued me, so I watched it. I'm like, dude, you gotta try this out. He was hesitant. Oh, come on. He watched it, and
first season, completely hooked, but when they got into the second season, it completely fell apart.
Yeah, I'll admit. I find the live-action movie ending was better for me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Death Note would be the answer for that one.
I guess for me, with regards to getting her into anything, I can't necessarily think of any games, because Crystal has this innate ability that she just knows when a game is good. The thing is that she just knows it's good just by how it looks, or the reviews, or like anything along those lines. So I've tried suggesting different things before, but I guess overall it just doesn't gravitate towards her. But for some apparent reason, if she has no knowledge about a game, she suddenly gets drawn to a game, and she just gets this feeling that it's going to be good. And 9 chances out of 10, it usually is a really good game. With regards to anime, there hasn't really been much I got her into. When we were first together, I got her into Dominion Tank Police, and she actually liked it just as much as I did, even though she had never heard it before. But game-wise, I can't really think of anything, just because she is a little bit stricter about her game taste, but she's not afraid to, play a game.
Yeah, I haven't played much lately either. Like I don't know, I've just been demotivated, I guess. But didn't I get you into Suikoden, kinda?
Yeah, Suikoden 1. You finally got me to sit down and actually play it. So.
Yeah.
All right, so next question, longtime subscriber as well, Johnny Depp fan 1433. What are your wife's favorite consoles and games? Well, she's already said some of her favorite games, but like, what are some of your favorite consoles?
Definitely be the SNES and the PS1. PS2 has a lot of great stuff, but the PS1 is what really broadened my horizons even more to the RPG genre. I mean, the main ones were SNES, Final Fantasy III and Chrono Trigger, but man, the PS1 was the RPG lover's console.
Yeah.
So I guess I had to pick one, definitely PS1.
Yeah. PS1, even to this day, as far as I'm concerned, it has the best JRPG library of all time. Just about every high caliber JRPG is an instant classic, timeless classic. People should go back to that system and just play the great RPGs that the system had to offer.
Better yet, maybe the PS4 should be backward compatible with all of the all of the PlayStations.
All right, here's a tough question I'm going to have to listen to. What does your wife think on my completionist view on video games? So, let me have it.
Oh, you mean like you just playing a game to completion?
Yeah.
He's the only person I know that makes video games look like a chore, and it's actually kind of hilarious because he will be looking at the screen with the controller. He'll either have the player's guide laid out or Game Facts who's doing this. I'm like, dude, you're ruining it. I mean, where's the exploring, the adventure, the challenge, right? To me, it's a form of cheating. If he's like, okay, if he wants to play the game through unspoiled first and then go back and replay, okay, I understand that more. But when you play a game for the first time and get every item, like, it's cheating. And I actually had 2 games, or at least one game.
2 games.
2 games I absolutely forbid him to use a player's guide at, because you're going to take the fun away. One is Wild Arms. That can be a challenging game if you don't know where to go and what to do. And I didn't have a player's guide, so I don't think he should either. This is a time that I did not have internet, and I live in a tiny fishing community, so I can't just go to the mall and buy a player's guide. Like, I was completely on my own. And Parasite Eve 2, I know it's a mediocre game, but in the end, I do get player's guides for collector value, to look at the pictures and kind of look at what I missed. But just for a keepsake, if you open up my Parasite Eve 2 guide, you'll see all the scrap paper I have, like writing things down, different formulas and ways to solve the puzzles. The hardest one was the Cloud and Air Spires.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. So
now,
those are the 2 games. Those are the 2 games I'm forbidden from using strategy.
Yeah, if you do get stuck, sure, I'll allow you to cheat a little bit, but that's the thing. I didn't have any resources playing any of these games. You need some challenge.
Yeah. All right. So Sunderland Gaming asked a question we already repeated. How'd you 2 meet? Downtown Comics, playing at a comic book store. All right, so Jay Blackheart, the Reverend, longtime friend, man that I have so much respect for. Political question. As a couple, how do you feel that the gaming community is progressing as a whole in 2016? What do you feel are its strong points, and what do you feel can make it improve as a worldwide effort?
Personally, as a whole, I would say it's doing okay. If there is a blemish or a negative thing about gaming, is the extreme fandom. And I actually went out of my way to prove that when I made a video about my top 15, 16?
15.
My top 15 most despised characters of Final Fantasy, and I actually got a threat for that. To me, it's that kind of behavior that makes gaming less fun. But I think the best experience that gave me hope in the gaming community is when we went to PAX 2012.
Yeah.
It was all about the fun, the community. No one cared what you thought about one game or the other. It really was each to their own. So as long as those kind of communities exist, gaming's fine.
The thing is that ultimately one of the big problems that comes with it is that it's gotten way too competitive. It's gotten, people are taking it seriously when video games are meant to be fun. Because now you have, you know, gaming leagues, and now you have like major gaming sports, and now money's involved, and unfortunately, you know, I often have a saying that I say that money often ruins the things we love the most. And you know, when we all play video games as a kid, nobody is concerned about being the best or, you know, looking at this hobby as a way of making money. You know, we just want to play games and we just want to have fun. But unfortunately, it's not even in playing video games itself, it's the whole video game collecting. It's now a competition, it's now a status symbol, it's now a dick swinging contest. And unfortunately, that's the biggest negative point when it all should just simply be about fun. And I think a lot of people are missing that. I think too many people are taking it way too seriously, and I think the best approach towards it is to simply not allow yourself to care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, friendly competition is fun, and it can be fun. I mean, me and a few people, I mean, we try getting a few high scores on some games, but
it's never taken to a point where it's like, where it takes up a significant portion of our life that we need it, you know, to make our lives feel more vindicated or anything along those lines. The thing is that, you know, with regards to strong points, is that people just got to remember is that we do play games for fun. And as long as you never lose sight of that, you know, then any game you play is going to be enjoyable. You just have to stop fixating on the negatives, or frame rates, or graphics, or anything like that. You know, I often have a saying that it's not games that age badly, it's gamers' attitudes that age badly. Because even the oldest games can still be enjoyable, just as long as you're not one to nitpick over it all the time.
what can we do to make a more worldwide effort? This may seem strange for me to say, but I think one good way to improve everything is to try to ignore all the bad points and only focus on why you like the games. I mean, there's a lot of controversial things happening lately, especially with people who have very little knowledge about gaming. They look from the outside and try to infiltrate to ruin things. Like the two of his examples would be like Jack Thompson.
Yeah.
You know, he tried to say, oh, this causes violence when there's been proof that it does not. And Anita Sarkeesian just coming and saying, oh, well, this causes sexual violence. Again, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And these two people don't know anything about video games, and they're welcome to play some, but it seems to me they're in it for a more, just take out, I guess, spread a message that
is frankly wrong.
It's wrong, yeah. So that's so basically ignore people like that, the people who are trying to ruin the fun and trying to take things too seriously. Just play games while you want to play them for fun, and I think it'll be fine.
His next question, and a question I've always wondered over the years of knowing you guys, what do you feel is the best in being the true completionist within the couple when it comes to gaming? The thing is, this is more of a question for me, and I think what it comes from is, yes, technically when you think by YouTube standards, yes, I am the true completionist. You know, like I said time and time again, this is not a competition. Me and Gerard are perfectly okay. We don't interact at all. He's commented on a few of my videos, but technically I did exist on YouTube first. So, some people like to refer to me as the true completionist or the first completionist, but what people got to understand is that for me, this is not going to be a job. This is not going to be a source of income. I do this channel for fun and because, I like to show people how to actually complete video games.
Now, I was sort of a completionist years ago, but that was because I had nothing else better to do. Remember, when my money was limited. So, like the first game I bought for the PS1 was Final Fantasy VII. And there was nothing else really for me to play at the time, so I got every single thing done in that game that you can imagine. Simply because I had nothing else better to do. And, Final Fantasy VIII, I hate that game, but you know what? Everything is done. But now as time went on, I have access to more games, I have more resources. Right now, sure, I'll do a lot of exploring. I'll probably get most of the treasures and complete most of the things, but my bottom line is to go through the story, challenge myself a bit, beat the game, and once I beat the game, I'm not going to go back anymore and get the rest of the stuff. I just beat it, save the game, go to the next one.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Jay. All right, next question. Really, another really good channel, BioPhoenix. What was the anime that you both watched that blew your minds away?
You mean like together or individually?
Probably individually, because
Evangelion is mine.
Macross Plus, hands down. Best soundtrack I've ever heard of any anime ever. You want to get me to enjoy an anime, it has to have really good music. It's Yoko Kanno's soundtrack. Personally, I think it's one of the best soundtracks she's ever did. You can actually get the Macross Plus soundtrack on CD easily enough. And when I watched that, for as enjoyable as the story was, the music from that anime completely blew me away. Probably an anime that probably blew both our minds away, even though Crystal watched it before I did, but we decided to watch it together, was Angel's Egg.
Oh, that was weird.
What a fucking trippy mind trip that was. You want to watch an anime in which you can't make sense out of, and it's basically based upon your personal interpretation. Watch Yoshitaka Amano's art style for Angel's Egg.
That's mesmerizing. Like, now the one that blew my mind probably the most, like I said, was Evangelion or Evangelion, depend how you pronounce it. But I don't know if any anime fans have ever heard of this piece of advice, but everyone always told me, if you watch the series, never watch the whole thing in a time period less than a week. So what do? I watched the entire thing in a period less than a week, and I was, what? But it was still fun.
All right, next question. One of my incredibly good friends on YouTube, probably one of the gamers I have the most respect for, Tom TB46667. This is going to be fun. What are habits that Derek does while gaming that are funny?
Like I said before, is he has the guide, he's playing, he's flipping through the pages, he's reading. Like I said, he turns gaming into a chore. That's pretty much it. Like it's a mixture of annoyance and hilarity.
Yeah. Second question, what are your guys' favorite place to eat? Favorite restaurants? Has never changed in about 10 years. There's a place in St. John's on Torbay Road. It's called the Press and Bean.
Yeah, Merlot's Press and Bean. There's one downtown called Rumpelstiltskin's.
Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin's is another great place to eat.
My favorite place abroad is the Cheesecake Factory. I know that's some people joke about in the States, but I'm Canadian. I don't get there very often. I love the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. Press and Bean specializes in steak, seafood, and pasta. I doubt if any of you guys will ever be in Newfoundland, but if you're ever in Newfoundland and St. John's, Merlot's Press and Bean,
Yeah.
our favorite restaurant of all time to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend Rich, oh, this will be interesting. If you could change one thing about each other, what would it be? I'll let you go first.
Me, I think it would be have a little more sense of self-control. And this can be very broad. Like, probably one thing he does the most, if he's sitting down watching a movie or at the computer doing stuff, he's picking at things. He's doing this, just picking at it, making sound, and nothing on my desk is safe. I had a stick of lip gloss. He had the label peeled off. He kept twisting the bottom.
Yeah.
I was like, "What'd you do to my lip?" Just picking at things, like self-control. And one time I made a small bet with him.
Yeah.
Because anytime he loves to drink things with flavor in it, right? And by impulse, he opened the fridge. It could be orange juice, cola, or whatever. But I don't have any of that in the fridge.
No.
And I told him, I said, "Derek, you have no sense of control." I said, "Yes, I do. Okay, I bet you. One of these days, you're going to find one can of cola in the fridge. And you're just going to take it and drink it." He said, "I will not." "Well, fine, it's a bet." 2 or 3 years later, I did do that. Before he was coming home from work, that's what I did. I put a cola in. I came home from work, it was missing. I said, "Derek, what about the bet?" He goes, "What?" I explained to him. He's like,
Damn it.
So there you go.
I guess the one thing, and I don't want to get in trouble with this, I guess the one thing, I wish changed about Crystal is that sometimes Crystal's very picky about the stuff that she watches or or things like that. So like I always try to recommend different movies, different anime, different games that she should try, and like a lot of time she's very reluctant, but like I try not to take it too seriously because I understand that her taste in a lot of things is very diverse. So But sometimes I can be a little pushy about it. But like I try not to get pushy to the point where where it annoys her. But like sometimes I wish she would give my recommendations a little bit of a try. But it's not really that big of a deal, because you know, you should never force someone to get into the things that you're into, but you know, every once in a while, you know, for the longest time I tried to get her to watch Batman Assault on Arkham on Netflix, and you know, she kept pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off, but eventually, you know, just a couple of nights ago, we finally decided to sit down and watch it. So
this may be a stupid answer to that, but I think it's laziness. And I know it takes zero effort to lie down and watch Netflix, but I don't know what it is. It's like, I'll do it later. Not in the mood now. I want to do it later. That's how I am with a lot of games and movies, and I don't know why.
all right, thanks, Rich. So next question, Power Metal Gamer, awesome YouTube channel that I've just recently subscribed to. What video game do you both love to play together? Like, what game brings you the most fun as a couple? Technically, we have played and completed one video game together as a couple. And we did absolutely love to play it because we both loved the game.
Star Fox.
Star Fox 64.
Yeah, but I had to beat Star Wolf for you, though.
Yeah.
He couldn't beat him when he first got there. And I still had my skill at the time, so I just obliterated him for him, and he was able to get used to it afterwards.
Yeah, because the second form of Star Wolf is incredibly hard, and I can only beat him if my laser is all powered up, but he killed me the first time, and then I was stuck with a single laser. So, and then I lost 2 or 3 lives, I just couldn't beat him, and then Crystal just grabs the controller and just says...
As soon as Star Wolf comes in, I do a U-turn, and they're dead.
So.
But the one that we play together most is DDR.
Yeah, and we play DDR a lot. We're not active into it as much as what we used to, but we try to play it every chance we get.
Yeah, we used to go to the arcade every week, and while they had the machine.
Okay, so Keith the Fat Gamer last, didn't really have a question. Down Phoenix, I guess I do have one question. Did you know about each other's nerdy hobbies prior to when you started dating, or was that something that came later?
Kind of, I mean...
I did not notice she was a gamer, she was avid into anime, or we actually grew up watching and loving a lot of the same cartoons. That actually came as we got to know each other. With regards to our nerdy interests, the only thing when we first met that we knew that we were into was Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, just playing the cards, and I assumed he liked more than just that, right? But again, that kind of came later.
And do you think it had any effects on strengthening your relationship? I don't necessarily believe that having the same hobbies strengthens a relationship.
I mean, it kind of helps. At least it gives you something to talk about and look up things. I mean, just last night we were looking up voice actors for Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because we actually got a Dragon Ball voice actor coming to Sci-Fi in The Rock, so...
Yay!
You know, the thing is that the key thing to make any relationship work is respect and understanding. The thing is that you have to go into any relationship, like, not every day is going to be a good day. Not every day is going to be, you know, great. You know, like, you have to work through the challenges. You know, some days, you know, you want to be next to each other. Other days, you just want your own personal space. Like, you need to have that ability to be understanding towards one another's needs. But you also have to respect them, respect their interests, and respect their free time as well.
Well, I mean, I guess the primary thing is movies. Like, he loves horror movies. They're not my thing. I could watch them, but if I can avoid it, I will. And I love musical theater, and that's not his thing. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay. Next question, Max Impact 24, another great channel. 2 questions. What was the first video game that you guys played together? Star Fox 64. We don't really play that many video games together. And my second question, what did the 2 of you do on your first date? Oh, that's entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you remember the Garfield movie, like the live-action Garfield movie. We're like, especially me, I'm a fan of Garfield, and for our first date, why not? Let's go to the movie theater and watch Garfield, even though it's a bad movie. The car I had at the time was a little older, so I picked him up, and I was driving toward the mall, but when we got to a stoplight, my car began to beep a bit. It turns out it was starting to overheat. I said, well, we're close to the mall, I'm sure we'll make it. The next stoplight we get to, the car dies, like dead on the spot. I'm like, oh shit.
And we're in the front of the traffic light, and we got a ton of traffic behind us.
Beep, beep, beep. So anyway, what he, first, he got out and flagged them, we're broke down. So I put the car in neutral. He was able to push the car to the side of the road. Someone drove by and noticed that we had trouble, but they had a jug of water on them, a bottle of water. So we cooled the car down. I was able to turn around again. So we got to the mall, seen the movie, had a good time, and we drove back. Car still worked fine, but it was shortly after that I bought a brand new car. But it's a fun story. It was a fun way. It was a memorable first day, that's for sure.
All right. So next question from the Itch Network, Spencer, JD, and the rest of you boys. Are there any games that remind you of important times in a relationship? I can think of one. One thing I used to love to do is that, despite my wife doesn't play that many video games anymore, the video games that she does play, she becomes experts at them. She becomes really good, she takes on really hard challenges, and in the very beginning of our relationship, I actually used to watch her play the games that she used to play. And the one that I watched her play the most was Star Ocean Till the End of Time. And, people have mixed feelings about the game, but, for the most part, it is a very enjoyable Star Ocean game, despite the very stupid plot twist. We won't spoil it, but...
You were there when I broke the bottom out of that. Like, I broke that game so badly, and you can hear that story in one of my videos about my most memorable RPG bosses. But, long story short, I took a normal weapon, and I overpowered the hell out of it, and I took was supposed to be a challenging boss into a very wimpy boss, and he got a kick out of that. It's like, you broke the game. I'm like, shit. So the game got super easy after that.
Basically what it was is that she got access to this stone called the Orichalcum, and she decided that she was going to find a person in the game who makes them, and she took her normal weapon, and what the Orichalcum does is it adds 500 attack to your weapon. And she crafted 9 of them.
Like, run 9 of them, put them all to the same weapon. You can do that too. You can pretty much unlimited stuff you can attach to it. And yeah, so like 1 or 2 hits, the boss is dead, and like, oops.
Yeah. So, I watched her play a ton of games. I watched her play Star Ocean Till the End of Time. I also watched her play Suikoden 3, Suikoden 5.
I did have to beat Bilius for you, and
and
Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, he did play that. I think I did recommend that one to you. And you played it.
Yeah, you did.
But you had a hard. I warned you about Bilius, and even though you were powered up pretty well,
I still couldn't take him on.
Yeah, I had to take him for him.
Okay. All right, guys. Next question's from the chillest guy I know on YouTube. So much respect for Majiro T. And his first question is, how significant is physical collecting to you and Chibi? Well, like I explained before, like the physical collection has a lot less meaning to us than what it did maybe 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, we kind of started out first. Like in my case, it was about playing the game. Like right now, we're to the point that, okay, once we start, we play a game, we finish it, and, if we're okay to part with it, yes, we will. Like, okay, we'll probably sell it or let someone else have it, but right now, we're just to the point of only keeping the games that I guess mean a lot, or maybe I want to play it again later after some kind of sentimental value, but, I mean, personally, I'm all about, okay, we play them.
Yeah, and there's no reason to keep them anymore, because...
What's it supposed to be about? It's supposed to be about playing them.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, and there's no point, and this is one of the reasons why I don't keep games sealed anymore. I don't... we opened up all of our action figures because we're just not going to cater to that asinine collector's mentality, because we bought them for a reason. If you're just going to keep them in its original package, then, why did you even get it to begin with? It's pretty much useless. And that's the reason why I'm slowly going through my Sega Saturn collection first, because I completely missed out on that system. So my main priority is to try to get through those games as fast as I can, because once I finish playing all the games I've always wanted to play for the Sega Saturn, the majority of that collection will eventually be sold. So,
unless there's 1 or 2
want to keep. 1 or 2 that I want to keep, but it's but that system just had a lot of great games that I never had a chance to play. So with regards to physical collecting, it doesn't have as much of a significance to us as maybe as what it did 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think things changed pretty much.
And we just want to play games for fun. And if you look to it for any more than fun, then you may be playing games for the wrong reasons. So anyway guys, that is all the questions for this video. So I want to thank each and every one of you, for asking these questions. I hope it gives you an opportunity to know my wife and I a little better, and and I hope some of you guys have certainly checked out my wife's channel, because she does make a lot of interesting content. I will put her channel link there down in the description bar if you're interested.
I'm all over the place.
So she'll have a wide range of videos. Some of them will definitely have cats in them. So if you're a bunch of kitty lovers, then you'll have your fair share there. So anyway guys, that takes care of probably another episode of The Completionist. You probably won't have much content from me until I do get home over August, but I do have some videos planned. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and as always, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.